Welcome back to the Ormobility podcast. Today, we're going to be diving into something that many of us face, stress and anxiety, and how nurse coaching can be a powerful support in managing both. I'm joined here by Rachel Galligan, an integrative nurse coach. Rachel, welcome.
Hey Garrett, thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome. So, yeah, let's get started here. What are some signs or patterns you notice in people that tell you they might really benefit from nurse coaching, especially when it comes to stress and anxiety?
Yeah, Garrett, that's a great place to start because stress and anxiety don't always look how people expect. A lot of clients don't come in saying, I'm anxious. They say things like, I'm exhausted all the time, or I can't sleep even though I'm tired, or I feel super agitated, or I can't seem to focus. Sometimes it's physical stuff like gut issues, or headaches, or tight shoulders, or blood sugar spikes that don't make sense to them. So these are all ways that the body starts showing signs that the nervous system is stuck in high alert. Other times people describe this as a constant need to keep going, like they're spinning plates and afraid to let one of them drop. That wired but tired feeling, as we've heard it. So, as a nurse coach, I help them recognize these patterns. We name what's going on, and then we start shifting out of survival mode and into a more regulated area for intentional choices to be made.
So, what about when someone feels totally overwhelmed but has no idea where to start? How does nurse coaching support them in that place?
I'm available to meet them in that overwhelm. We're not rushed here, and our sessions are structured in such a way that we can really address what's going on that day. So we don't start with a to-do list. We start by slowing down. I was working with a client recently who said, I'm failing at everything. So she was juggling caregiving, work stress, and some of her own health concerns. She didn't need a big fix. She needed space at first. And we spent that time focusing on what she really wanted the most. Then she was ready to take one clear step forward. We focused on how she was reacting to her stress and created one small thing that she could do in those intense moments. And that shift gave her a sense of calm and control that she hadn't felt in months. And it's amazing what even a single step can unlock for somebody who's in that situation.
So true. And I know you hear this one a lot, but what do you say when a client says, I know I should be managing my stress better? I just don't have time.
You're right. That is incredibly common phrasing. And I usually respond with something like, it sounds like your days are full. And part of you also knows that something's not working. So would sit with that without any judgment because, yes, they're busy, but they're also not feeling okay. From there, we could explore what could change. Could 5 minutes of calm actually help you feel more clear? Or could it give you back time in a different way? Then we create something that truly fits their reality. So we're not talking about doing, a total overhaul of everything. We're finding what works for them in small, practical ways.
Can you share a client story where someone came in anxious and stuck and coaching helped them find more clarity?
You bet. One in particular comes to mind. So I had this client, he came in and he was feeling drained and unsure about his ability to continue doing his current job. He didn't necessarily want to quit, but he was not on a good path. And through our sessions, he realized that the real issue was he was experiencing a lack of connection at work. He didn't feel supported. So we came up with a small idea. He was going to organize a casual weekly lunch with his coworkers. It was a simple shift, but the impact was huge. Just having the plan and then experiencing that support changed everything for him. His motivation to go to work, his energy once at work, even his relationships outside of work began to change. Sometimes what we really need is to feel like we're not alone. And coaching helps people to get to that realization.
That's such a great example. So let's shift a little, help clients understand the connection between stress and things like blood sugar, sleep, digestion, or pain.
So, a big part of my job is helping clients to connect the dots in their lives. People often don't realize that stress shows up in our bodies. So, if you're skipping meals, you may feel brain fog or hit a crash later. If you're tense all the time, you might have gut issues or chronic pain. Stress changes how your body digests food, how it heals, and how you sleep. So when people understand that these small lifestyle shifts, like eating regularly, breathing deeply, getting rest, they aren't just nice to have. They're essential to helping our bodies function. It's really empowering. They see how taking care of themselves changes how they feel physically. It's a real, tangible bit of feedback, and having that type of response really helps in making clients feel like they have the capability to change their experience for the better.
And that ties perfectly into my last question. What role does the nervous system regulation play in your work? And how do you introduce tools like breathing or mindfulness without overwhelming people?
Nervous system regulation is foundational to what I do every day. When someone is constantly in go mode, their body is living in flight or fight, and that wears you down physically, mentally, and emotionally. So, one of the things we do is help the body come out of that high alert state, not with big dramatic changes, but with those small, doable practices that create a sense of safety and calmness in the body. I often introduce tools like breath work and mindfulness or grounding techniques in really simple ways that are accessible for anyone. It doesn't have to be big or scary or foofy. For example, I might say, let's try one breath together that's longer on the exhale than it is on the inhale, just to see what your body notices. My goal is to present these types of things in ways that feel doable and simple. And once clients start to feel even the first glimpse of stress or anxiety reduction, they feel slightly more grounded and they realize, oh, I can influence how I feel. And then it only goes up from there.
Rachel, this has been great. You really painted a good picture on what's possible when people are given the right support and tools. Thanks so much for sharing today.
You bet.
Okay, great. So, Rachel, how would someone get a hold of you?
Sure, you can call our clinic number at 845-3311, or you can navigate onto our website, ormobility.com, and go to the nurse coaching session, and you can fill out a form from there, and we'll get in touch with you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.